Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Madison Street Worship Podcast. We have officially launched.
Let's go.
Yes.
This has been so fun just to kind of brainstorm this and think about what we're planning to do. But this is a real thing now. We're excited about it. We're going to be doing this more often. Yeah. We're going to be having so many more people on, doing some really creative things with this and just having a platform to talk and hang and drink coffee. It's going to be fun. But
yeah. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Harley, like the motorcycle. This is Brady next to me.
Hello.
I'm Lee.
What do we do? What do we all do?
I'm the worship pastor and the director of Madison Street Worship. But we
Fearless leader.
We serve here at a local church called GTWY Church in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm a guitar player, keys guy,
Songwriter.
MD, songwriter.
Oh yeah, I do those things.
All those things.
Well, I mean, that's all
of that encompassed.
Harley does all that as well.
Yeah. Same for me. I kind of wear those hats. Engineer, producer, a lot of other things with MSW, but technical director at GTWY Church in Shelbyville.
Right.
I am the creative pastor as well at GTWY Church.
You do a great job. Both of you guys crush it. And we talked about teamwork in our last.
Yeah, if you may have watched our first kind of pilot thing, it was cool to lay out the format on what it felt naturally to do.
Yeah.
So.
And we have Trevin Dodrell as well.
Yes.
He's actually behind the cameras right now. We have these two angles. Which
producer for the MSW podcast.
That's right.
Shooting photo content.
He's making sure
as well.
that nothing falls apart. Mm-hmm. And if anything falls apart, he will alert us with a howling. So, yeah, we're big hand for Trevin.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
But we're glad you're here.
Yeah, so glad.
So.
Yeah, we just wanted to do something that we haven't done and something that we can speak into. You know, we work at a local church and we also do this thing called Madison Street Worship, which hence the name. And we just wanted to be able to speak into people that are working in church world or that even just Christianity, like talking about culture, like world culture, social culture. We wanted to be here, be a voice, especially for all of us, you know, in the greater Nashville area and what we do. So we'd love to answer any questions that you have. We want to do things like question and answer podcasts or Q&A podcasts. So if you have any questions, hit us up on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
There's going to be a lower third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
But also, you know, if the best way to send us a question would just type in the subject line question or podcast question and send an email to worship@madisonstreetworship.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just want to be a resource as much as we can. And you never stop growing. And, we never stop growing. And that's just kind of the way that we've always gone after things, is to just try to take them head on, ask people. Nobody doesn't like to talk about themselves, so this is a great time for us to get together and talk and chat and learn about life and hopefully help you guys.
It's really cool because to see what God is doing in our local church we're so thankful for it and we're humbled by it. And we live in a city called Shelbyville, Tennessee, and it's in the greater Nashville area, and there's 20 to 30,000 people here, and God took our church 7 or 8 years ago from 45 people to now over 1,000.
Dude, it'd be amazing to get Pastor Jason on to tell that whole story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because he's shared that with other pastors and other churches and stuff, but to share that from the heart of MSW, and how all that story came about, because MSW wouldn't be here if it wasn't for his faithfulness and his trust in the Lord to step out and do what he did with GTWY Church. So that would be an amazing.
That's the root system of everything.
It is.
And I'm the newest one here, and let me tell you guys, there's something on this place. There's something on this town. There's something on these people that the first time I walked in, maybe close to 4 years ago, I came in just with a friend of mine who was helping produce their first record, and I had never met any of these amazing people and had no idea.
Shout out John Strandell.
Yeah.
Amazing guy.
Yeah.
Amazing producer.
That's my brother. I had no idea the people we were going to be doing life with, and that I would eventually move here with my wife and But yeah, there's something on this place.
It's a full circle moment.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's just so special, especially in a town that's small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I think it's something like 2% of the population goes to our church.
It's crazy.
It feels like
that's crazy.
What's interesting about Shelbyville is, and if you're local to Shelbyville, you call it Shebville. But if you're not from Shelbyville, then you call it Shelbyville, and people are like, they're not from here.
Yeah.
But like Nashville is growing so quickly. Murfreesboro, just north of us, is growing so quickly. Mm-hmm. And it's pushing people into these areas, on the outskirts. And so right now, everything is a little bit cheaper to live here. Like, cost of living is lower.
Don't they say the greater LA area is like 2 hours wide?
Yeah,
something like that.
It. Like I'm from the greater LA area, like Newbury Park, places like that. Like people are like, yeah, I'm from LA.
And honestly, that's a very cultural thing in America.
It
is to commute several like miles to where you're going.
A lot of miles.
Like, it's not just like you live like everybody lives in Manhattan. Mm-hmm. That is a very rare thing in the United States. Like, if you live in even like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, my Lord, there is miles and miles covered, considered living in that area. I mean, even from St. Louis, like there is,
oh my gosh,
so many suburbs
from
around.
North County to South County is an hour drive of highway.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah.
And
so Nashville is definitely becoming a region type like that. So.
I heard it. There was a local podcast, a couple of real estate guys in Shelbyville. I think it's the Craig Wheeler or some sort of podcast. I don't know, but if you ever hear this, shout out to you guys. But they said something that was really interesting because they are in real estate. They mentioned that Nashville currently is like Atlanta in the 1980s, 1990s.
Cool.
And the Atlanta boom that happened. And so like you had all these small towns, like our friend Catherine Mullins, like the town that she's in is like an hour outside of Atlanta, but everything is just like packed up all the way towards there, you know. But what's interesting about Shelbyville is, if you don't know anything about it, it's known to be the walking horse capital of the world.
Let's go.
It's a very like country town. It's very similar to the town that I grew up in, Bayminette, Alabama. And just really small, quaint, a lot of people here, but it's a horse town, and so there's a lot of horse trainers. There's a lot of
if you're in the equestrian world, know of Shelbyville.
Oh yeah.
Like people come from all over the world and to come here for something called the Celebration, which is the international horse show event, which is crazy. I mean, like in August, thousands of people flood this city, and like it transforms. So yeah, it's wild how
it's also called Pencil City, or it used to be.
There's a huge pencil manufacturer,
Tyson
Chicken's here.
A lot of
like industrial,
a lot of things that you just don't know about,
industry stuff
that
here.
are just here.
Industrial type.
We know about it,
because
it's like a massive influx of jobs, like places like that, which is and that tells a lot about our people, like how diverse it is as far as like the type of people we have, which is so cool for a small town as well. That was the first thing I saw. I was like, man, there's a lot of different colors. There's a lot of different lifestyles. There's a lot of
we have a large Hispanic population here too, which is amazing for the food.
Yeah, we have
so much.
If you need Mexican, this is the town.
There's like 13 or 14, maybe 15
authentic markets here.
Yeah,
it's really
markets
cool.
/ restaurants in like the back half.
Yeah,
you walk through that like tiny little hallway, and you're just like, I'm in a restaurant.
Yeah, eat the best tacos of your life.
It's really interesting. But I think what I'm getting at with Shelbyville is like, coming here, I realized that there was a poverty mindset just kind of ingrained throughout culture here. It's either you have a lot of money because you're in horse world, or you have no money.
Yeah.
And we want to speak into that because we believe that GTWY Church and Madison Street Worship, we are a prophetic voice in that, and we're just calling the gold out of people.
Whoa.
Letting them know that they are more than the dollar amount that's in their bank.
That's really special.
And it's a great place to be because we stay committed here, we're rooted here, and we've seen, even over the last 5 years that I've been here, people's mindsets are starting to change, and like now people are moving here that are wanting to help better the city and like take things higher and like just make it a place that people want to be.
Yeah, we've got a big influx of Californians, and our friend Chad, who's I've been talking with him recently. He's wanted to come out here. There's people from all over that it's really, really cool to be able to like, be a part of a hub of artistry, because people from all over get to hear that when you're on like Spotify and all that stuff. People hear about it and see the music, whatever, and then they come out and they visit. And that's like the coolest thing ever. Like I had a friend.
You wouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
We're an hour and 15 minutes outside of Nashville.
Yep. And that's just far enough for people. Like we have a couple people that are faithfully serving like twice a month at least that are commuting from Nashville, which like, I mean, when's the last time y'all were in town? Like it's a trek.
Oh
like,
I don't go very, very often. Yeah. Like if I have a song right, I'll go.
Well, it's definitely a lot harder with kids.
With kiddos.
It is. Yeah. I've got 2 kids.
Got to make a plan, but
2 under 2. Lee's got a baby girl, and
I'm the only one without a kid yet.
Well,
so I don't know that yet.
Yeah. It's it is a challenge, but it's a beautiful part of life. And one thing I love is that everyone on our team has a different walk, has a different story, and we support each other in that. Like, there are days that I wish that like I could just like get in my car and go whenever I wanted to. But at the same time, I think the Lord is really teaching me in this season to be present and to be like present with family.
Right. It's really cool to be a part of a group that's growing up together as well.
Growing families together.
Like that's so special. Like when our kids are in their teenage years and we're like old and out of style, like that's so special because they're going to be the ones that are going to take the reins, hopefully. And that is so special.
It's a beautiful picture of like legacy and like really like seeing what your roots develop into. I think that was the hardest thing. And we can like continue to get into this. I want to talk about our coffee real quick.
Oh yeah.
We haven't touched on our coffee, but today we're drinking on Atomic Coffee Roasters.
Yes.
Space Cadet.
And where do we get our coffee from, Lee?
Man, I would love to be able to shout out more often, but we love our trade subscription.
It's true.
I will, faithfully, boast about them, even if I'm not getting any kind of like compensation for this. Trade Coffee has been so good to us, and they send really good coffee to us and right on time.
We're using our Ratio 6 batch brewer, which if you don't know what that is, it's like one of the only, if not the only, batch brew coffee maker out there that has like a full pour over sequence, which has got like a bloom, and then it like pours evenly. Everything's weighed out because we're
super helpful for like big batches.
Yeah,
when you don't want to sit there grinding and kettling.
It's great. It makes a really, really great batch brew. And
shout out our coffee mugs. Madison Street coffee mugs.
If you want these, let us know. Are they available on Commerce?
They should be available on our website. We're currently having some issues there. We may have to switch over to a different like Commerce plan, but we're looking into that. If you want these, they will be available, and they may already be available. So
nice.
If you
makes your coffee taste better.
It does.
If you're
tastes like the Lord, actually. The Holy Spirit.
If you're listening to this down the road, and this has been out for a while, chances are this will be available for you to purchase.
Yeah.
And we have some other stuff on there too, if you're interested in our music or any merch stuff. So
yeah.
But what's cool, like we were talking about legacy, is like I've known Lee for going on a decade, maybe more now.
Yeah.
And
this would be our 10-year high school anniversary. I was telling Jen our high school reunion 10 years now, but we met right out of high school in college. So
and just to kind of give our stories just a little bit, very briefly, is me and Lee are from the general Mobile, Alabama area. He grew up in Mobile. I grew up on the Baldwin County side. If you're familiar with like Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, I'm from that side.
Across the bay.
If you watch shout out Outer Banks, it's like what is it called, the Pogues and the Kooks. I guess the Pogues would be Mobile and the Kooks would be probably Bond County.
No, it's like Parks and Rec. It's like,
oh yeah,
we're Pawnee, across the bay's Eagleton. As much, bro. Dude, hearing about Fairhope and all these Fairhope people.
But
I love Fairhope. But
I do too.
What is silly? Our parents, Dingleberg.
So silly.
But I've known Lee for quite a while, and like we have history together, and we've walked through hard things together, and I think that is what makes our team so strong, is when you have walked with people for such a long time.
Foxhole battles, I call them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
been through it. Harley and I have both been through it together.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been there for each other
many times.
In the thick of it. I mean,
and the thin of it.
Yeah. Maybe someday we'll get into it.
Yeah.
About like stories and all that stuff, but it's.
But Lee was here in Shelbyville at our church like a year and a half before I moved here, and I knew like if I came here, there was a time in my life where I needed family, I needed friends, and I was going through a hard time, and I knew that if I came here that Lee would be able to be there for me, and I made other friends, of course, but I knew I had a brother, and that was a really special thing. And then maybe like a year into me being here, we recorded our second live record, Heaven Come Closer.
It's a special one.
And Brady came.
I did.
And played guitars.
If there's anything, not for the gain of self, I wish I had a bigger vocabulary, like, and nothing self-righteous, but if I could offer any young musician and we'll get to these questions on a different episode, but if I could offer a young musician anything, just be around.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I truly, genuinely, my heart had no ill intentions other than just to be around.
Yeah.
And to just like, especially like I already talked about like the mark that this place had on me the first time I walked in, and I was around for maybe about a year, maybe year and a half, and I reached out to Lee and was like, hey bro, I know you guys are starting on pre-pro, like would you be down to let me help like write some parts?
Yeah.
And he was like, better yet, how about you just play on the record? And I was like, what? And I did. And if I could offer any young person that, just be around, be faithful, and opportunity will come.
Yeah, I think we touched a little bit on this during our little pilot.
Yeah.
It was like, just, what you're saying, kind of be around, but don't go in with any expectations.
Yeah.
Go in with the goal of gaining relationship.
Yep.
And,
that's right.
And equity with people. Opportunity will be gifted.
Yeah.
In the Lord's timing. I've noticed that every single time. I don't have to go in. That is a good sound.
That is a good pour.
We needed to we need to mic that up. That was really nice. But yes, to sum that all up is like saying the Lord will like promote you.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be.
No, that's true.
Connections are nothing. Relationships are everything.
Yes.
True relationships with people.
Yeah.
Doing life with people.
A lot of people
that's how we ended up here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Lee were playing COD together, and like had kind of rekindled, like, you have these friends that are states away, and you stay connected because there's like that deep love for each other, but life is life. And,
yeah.
Yep.
And
it's okay to not always be, texting or calling every week.
And that's
it's important that when you pick up, you pick up.
Right.
And when we picked up, it was like, dude, we're about to do. And I had no idea that he was scheming for years to get us here.
Yeah.
So.
It worked out, man. It's so cool to have you here now. Like, you guys have been on staff at our church for,
I think, like almost
3 months,
now.
4 months, 5 months.
It was like December 8th, which is a whole thing, because the first day that my wife and I, not wife at the time, had walked into this church together, our first day starting on staff was 3 years to the day.
Yeah, that's
that you walked in.
Little winks like that are so cool.
God wink right there. It was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Like, if there's ever any little thing you need to know if you're in the will of God, just look at those little numerical things. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I love about our church is our church truly is a place of healing, like where you can come and you can heal. And you know, in my story, I was able to come and just be around friends and family, or friends that were like family, and friends that I made that became family. And you know, I when I got here, I just got like a normal job, wasn't seeking any platform, I wanted to volunteer my time, help our church in any way. And I saw that there were things that I could help in, and that even before I got here, just encouraging the leaders that were here, like, hey, if you need help, I'd love to help in XYZ areas.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about a position or platform. And, you know, I got a regular, like, 9-to-5 job.
What were you doing?
I was, before I moved to Tennessee, I was a paint contractor for 6 years. And, you know, to be honest, that time in my life it was hard, but it was incredible because I got to put in my earphones like all day long and like listen to the word, listen to podcasts,
dude. Yeah. That's so real.
Listen to books, listen to songs, like worship my heart out. And it was a great time of the Lord getting me ready to come here and live my dream.
Those are your fields, bro.
Yeah.
Those are your fields that you were sowing, and
yeah,
your paintbrushes were your sheep.
One of those podcasts that I listen to is called the Nashville Christian Songwriters Podcast, I think. And the guy in that podcast would always say, if you want to become a better songwriter, move to Nashville. And it's what you were talking about,
just
is get here.
Yeah.
And, you know, I knew like where I was, there wasn't a huge songwriting community. There were some that were doing it, but, you know, I didn't have too many people that I could write with. And I knew in order to take my songwriting to the next level and to learn more, I needed to get here. And so that was a huge part of one reason why I came. But when I first got here, I landed a job at an employment company, sitting behind a desk. So I went from very active painting and up and down ladders to sitting behind a desk, hiring for jobs at an employment company. And what was neat about that job is I would take an RV that they had purchased to be a mobile office, and I would take it out and, you know,
I remember that
put
RV.
it all over. Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool.
But it was also a job that, you know, I felt like I was in a season of waiting. I felt like I was in a season where the seeds were planted, but, you know, they weren't growing yet.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, that's
as somebody who was already a part of the team, watching the way that the Lord was like, kind of just like aligning the paths for you and making way for you to come in was really cool. I mean, like I don't think the Lord is this like puppet master that's just like, you know, doing all this and that. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like the way that the Lord would like use certain circumstances to position other people in other places to make room for your calling to be fulfilled here at Gateway.
Right.
As somebody who was already on the team, like it was so to think back of like some of the things, it was really interesting. Like it in hindsight, like there was like a lot of transition. So it's like, okay, now I know, you know, what he was doing, but in the moment it's like always like, hard to be like, okay, what is happening?
What's happening?
Like, why is there so many people leaving, coming and going? Why does it feel like there's not enough room sometimes? Like, so like your faithfulness to like stick it out and trust that process is like what your reward is now.
Yeah.
Like you're living in that reward. So,
you know, I tell people, we have interns.
If you hear extra noise, Trevin's putting a battery in one of the cameras. So
we have interns that will come, and you know, one thing that I actually don't like about going to college specifically for ministry or whatever it may be, like we usually have like worship leaders come in and intern with us over the summer. If you'd like to do that, shoot us an email, worship@madisonstreetworship.com. But I tell them, I say, it's better to go to the church and be in the area of the church that you want to be at, and then maybe the Lord will open a door than it is for you to just accept a random position at some church that you don't know where it's at. You don't know their inner culture.
That is a whole podcast in itself.
You have to know the grounds. Like, you have to know the fields that you're going to work.
Yeah.
Because if you just go somewhere that you've never been, like, dude, the Lord is going to rock your world with some information that you probably don't want.
Yeah. A lot of people think this is the only thing I'll say on this, because I don't want to like hijack this, but when it comes to getting the church job you're looking for, everybody thinks, oh, if I nail this interview, if I impress these people, but in reality, you need to be interviewing that church. This is where you are like going to be like leading people, but also you are going to be like devoting your life to this. Yeah. And it's not just a job. Like, you know, if you're going into ministry thinking it's just like, oh, like I get to serve the Lord. Like, yes, that is a benefit. Like I get paid to serve the Lord and to use my gifts and to, you know, grow people and this and that. You have to like let that be your all. Like,
and I think the questions
you cannot think of jobs and money when it comes to that as like a exchangeable thing. Like that is not a sorry, this is
no, dude, you're good. This is good. I think as well the I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're cool. You're good.
I think the questions you ask is in your interview is like 51% of it, because like that shows, first of all, if you have experience or not. If someone asks you after your interview, hey, do you have any questions or anything, and you're like, nope, that tells me right there as the interviewer that you have no idea. You've probably never been here, and that's like, you know, people are agreeing that happens, but like if you want to look good, like having questions is important, because that shows that you have experience, that shows that you know what you want and what you don't want.
That shows,
and
that you care.
I've never worked at a church that I haven't been a member of. So like I guess that
I have. It's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
But you know, I get calls like I've gotten 2 this year of former interns or people that we know from like Lee University that have gotten jobs at places that they're not cut out for. And you know, they take the job because the job was offered, but they're realizing maybe I don't have like the actual skills that this particular church needs, or maybe I didn't realize the culture here was not good, and you know, they're just running on fumes. And so what I would just say to wrap that part up is just it takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of trust in the Lord, because I know your desire, if you're wanting to work in church, is to land a church job. But it would be so much better, and I say this from experience, of attending church there and just letting the Lord work it out in His time. And man, I feel so fulfilled. Like I'm living my dream, being able to be the worship pastor at GTWY Church, to serve with Madison Street Worship. And, you know, it's just so cool to be able to live your dream. And it's not only just living your dream out of fulfillment of your dream. It's that I believe that God puts dreams in our hearts that are unique to each of us individually, but in order to serve Him.
Right.
And it's not about, like, sometimes we actually idolize the dream, but when it's a God dream, like for your life, and you partner with Him in that, it's so much better.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I was the global music director at a church in St. Louis for a couple years before this job, and I mean, I had no idea what the Lord was preparing. I used to reference what we do here at my old church. Y'all check out this church in Shelbyville. These are my great friends. These are family. We need to check out what they're doing. Like, they're killing it. Yeah. Dude, the preparation that the Lord does for you so much is so, like, you never know.
Makes no sense in the moment.
You never know until you get into it, and then you're
True.
It's always hindsight, and you look back and you're like, oh,
yeah,
God, that's my thing right now. He's so kind.
Yeah.
He's so kind to just like use me.
Yeah.
Like, I suck,
dude.
you know, and the Lord just shows up so much, and
We're human.
Oh my Lord, dude, the kindness that he shows to use us in our faults, and
he's so kind. There's actually, shout out Corey Asbury. There's this new like post that he made maybe like a month ago. Could have been a couple weeks ago, and it's this new song he's been working on, and it says sometimes, I don't know the exact lyrics, but it's like sometimes marriages dissolve, sometimes babies die, and then at the end of the chorus, he's like, I've cussed and screamed, I've been mad at God, but at the end of the day, he's always been so kind, and like you always find him being kind, even through our junk.
I'm so ready for that record, for his next country record he's putting out. If y'all don't follow him on TikTok, he's like teasing all these songs he's writing, and
they're good.
Yeah, so good.
He's a great writer.
He is
They're
incredible.
so good. Yeah. But yeah, silence is good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hang on, I need coffee.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the summary of like our church, like.
And if
it's a testament, because like you're from Mobile, I'm from the Eastern Shore as well. Like you're from St. Louis.
Yeah,
like,
as many people as we have, probably less than 0.5% of them are Shelbyville natives.
Dude, they're coming from all over the place.
Yeah.
My wife is from Daytona.
My wife is from Lakeland.
Yeah, so is mine, like in Florida, and then like my wife was in Cleveland for a little while. And then they've actually been in the Shelbyville area for like 13, 14,
I think it's important as well.
Years.
It's all connected through Church of God as well. That's
our denomination.
Yeah. You wouldn't know sometimes that we are affiliated, but we are affiliated with the Church of God in Cleveland, Tennessee. So we have a lot of people from Lee University, like I said earlier, that are interns or that come, and we do a lot of things with the Church of God. Like we'll go to Lee University and lead worship for their chapel sometimes. We just got done doing this thing called Smoky Mountain Winter Fest. It's like a youth revival / conference type of event.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. It's like 10, 11,000 youth,
on fire for Jesus.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it was just so cool. We've done that 2 years now in a row, and it's an honor to be able to like minister in those ways. I got texts from people back home right after we have done that event each time, and they're like, wasn't that a prophetic word that you would like be involved in leading worship for events like this? And I was like, yeah, like it's a total God thing that he's in his kindness has allowed me to partner with what he wants me to do, and I just said yes.
Yeah.
So
the obedience.
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Just say yes
to the Lord. We should make a dare shirt. Just says, just say yes.
Dare you to say.
That's
yes.
That's
so
I like
funny.
that.
Do y'all remember those Christian T-shirts growing up?
Dude, those graphic tees.
Dude, this said like Jesus and the Reese's peanut butter cup.
Dude,
font.
I had one that was like the Sprite logo. It said Holy Spirit. You know what I mean?
His way.
Yeah.
I had a Hershey's one, and it was he saves.
Oh, dude.
Oh, they're so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drop it in the comments if you want us to make some MSW cheesy Christian
graphic
tees, because we will.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get Trevin and we'll start working on them immediately.
Yeah.
Hershey's. What did it say? He saves?
It was he saves, but it was
Dude,
like
that is hilarious.
You know what's funny is like when I was growing up in high school specifically, it was like this brown. My favorite outfit was this brown he saves shirt, and it was like chocolate brown, like Hershey's brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wore the like tan plaid shorts.
Oh, the big cargos.
Yeah, they were like cargo on the side, but cargo shorts, and they were like plaid and tan and like.
If you can find any photos,
I have one. I think I might have one of.
We'll put it right here.
Yeah,
I was like playing baseball at church camp, and I was in that outfit.
Nice.
Were y'all athletic growing up?
I'll have to find.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I played soccer since I was.
You get those soccer calves.
Years and years of running around.
I was into baseball. I played soccer when I was a little bitty, but the only sport I was really, really into was baseball.
Mm-hmm.
We did everything in my family, and if you didn't, no, I'm kidding. No, we, I mean, first thing I did, I guess, was probably baseball. Like T-Ball was a tiny kid.
T-Ball was
I
great.
looked like a TV guide kid. I had this giant head and this like tiny body.
But you stuck with baseball though. You went to state. You like you were nationals. What?
I never played for my high school team.
Me either.
But we had a AAA major travel team that I played with that my dad coached, like since that T-ball age and on. Like he coached my brother and I forever. And just to be clear, he did not give me any sort of coach's kid favor. I got it worse than anybody.
It's always the opposite.
What he used to always say is be like, man, you guys get to go home. He comes home with me and dude,
you're running laps at home.
Yeah. So we were good. We were very, very good. And
you're a way better baseball player than I was. I'm like
5'4" though.
Well, I'm 5'8".
So,
but if you,
we're a bunch of short kings out here.
You were on a travel ball team.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I couldn't even touch those guys. Like, especially in running, I have such flat feet, and when I ran, like
it would be slapping the ground like a duck. Like,
dude,
it was so
I don't
bad.
know what it was, but I did play baseball as well.
Yeah.
I hated it though. I was like, peer pressure.
It can
like,
be boring.
It was a little boring for me because I was always stuck in outfield, but I couldn't get, dude.
was my world.
Got in middle school and these kids are throwing 80 miles an hour. I was like, I can't do this.
So where y'all come from is where like all the good teams would come from. So there's it's not Cape Cod. What's it called? Gosh, there was this team that like had this reputation. Now, granted, this is like before, was it
like a Florida team?
No, it was a Georgia team, and every kid on that team was like Trevin's size.
Yeah,
and they all like we were like 15, and they were like throwing close to 90.
Gosh. That's insanity.
I remember, I think I was like 16, and that was the first time we saw like 90.
Yeah,
and when that ball,
it's faster than
like,
a blink.
I mean, it just like flies past you. You're like, whoa. But you know,
dude, I played soccer. I had broken toes.
Yeah.
Like messed up ribs, all this, and I had a goalie fall on me after like a header, and like all this crazy stuff happening, concussions and all this. I would not step up to a plate like that for a ball that coming that
crazy,
fast.
Man. I mean,
fear just took over. I was like, I'm not doing this. It's not worth it.
I didn't hit well for like most of my life till I was like 15. We were just talking about this the other day
on the ride home.
But there was like a season that I don't know what. Something clicked. I just like I was like, I'm not scared anymore, and I got hit by pitch 14 times that season, and everybody else like had a normal season, got hit like
2 or 3
sometimes
times.
0 or like 3 at the most. I think it was like my buddy Josh got hit 3 times. I got hit 14 times
in a season.
So I just like ate the plate and just like just took it and was like, okay, free base. I don't know what like
psycho man
screw got loose that year, but after that I batted like, so again, like AAA major, like most high school teams like or that age, you'll see a kid like batting like 400, and that's like really good. But when you're at that level, it's different. The stats tend to line up almost like major league because it's that good. Those kids are that competitive, and I think I batted like 370 something. I was like, which meant almost 4 times out of 10 that I would go up, it would be a hit. And I just like I had a Pop Warner. You're not going to be listening to this, but he's actually third base coach for the Cardinals now. He was the manager for the Springfield team, which was their AAA team at the time. He was our winter hitting coach, and he like leveled with me. He's like, bro, you're not a power hitter. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean, bro? And he's like, you're lefty, just get up there and just drop it into left center. That's your vibe. I'm like, okay. So we hit off tee for like literally 3 months straight, just all winter, like 2-3 days a week, and would just get the swing down, and it worked.
Wow.
I actually have some takeaways from that. Is there's 2 things. Number 1 is it's good to know like what you're skilled in and stick with that and like do it well.
Yeah.
And like he told you, and you had to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people,
that's hard to do that.
A lot of people that want to serve in church, especially like on a worship team.
This is why you're the worship pastor.
Yeah. He pulls the sermons out of them.
Dude.
All the stories.
Well, I think it's important
Turn to numbers.
It's important for our listeners, like, you know, I don't want to get off track too much.
No, you're good. This is good.
I think, you know, where was I going? Oh, like, just knowing, like, what you're good at, be real with yourself. Like, if you know that you have a desire to sing, but you don't have the skill to sing, it can be learned, but it's going to be way harder unless God has specifically given you that gift of singing. Some people actually think that they have a desire to sing, but what they really have a desire to is to be seen and to be on the platform.
It's tough.
And it's not really it's not really a desire to sing, but they think it is.
Right.
But I think it can all be learned, but there are people that God has just naturally given them an ability to play, an ability to sing, and then there's others that, like, just don't have that. And we talked about this a little bit in the pilot, was just teamwork and how important that is to know what you're skilled in. And
leaning on your strengths.
There's a lot that sports taught me as far as, like, leading teams and dealing with people, like dealing with people's skills, dealing with lack thereof. You're like, dude, it's hard, man. Getting, like, walking up to someone and being like, you suck, but not saying that, and like, because your flesh is like, I can't do this. I can't deal with this, or how do I go at this person to grow them?
It's probably harder to be a coach than it is to be a boss, because you're dealing with, like, I mean, maybe some days, but, like, you're dealing with underdeveloped frontal lobe children who most likely have, like, at that level, they probably all have ego problems. They probably all have, like,
travel ball, especially.
Oh, dude, they're, like, all
extremely arrogant and most likely insecure. But
that was
all of the learning that you could get from that will set you up for the rest of your life.
I remember my dad being at because he was our manager, like, he'd coach third base as well. So he was there at third base, like, and I remember that season that I mean, y'all, I worked, like, my whole life to be able to hit, and it was, like, my last, like, season that I'd, like,
got there,
popped off.
And
same. My dad would be, like, wiping tears. Like, I would just, you know, just a little dinker right into left center every time, wherever
all the hard work,
every single time. Like, and dude, that's all I went up knowing this is my job. There's somebody on first. I'm going to move him to second or to third, and that's my job. And I went up there and just did it, took my base, and did my job, did it well.
Right.
And you know what? Like, as a leader, like, now I'm in my dad's position where I get to watch people succeed. And, like, someone that I've brought up, like, there's a kid from my church I came from that I just heard that he's MDing now.
Oh, come on.
And, like, I grabbed him when he was 16, and I was like, you come with me, because that's what happened to me. John grabbed me and said, you come with me. Just watch what I do. And I told him, I was like, bro, I'm a terrible teacher. I'm not going to be able to do anything other than just have you watch what I do. Just sit here and watch. And
which is that not what we did as children? Like, I'm watching Merritt do that to me now. She's just, like, following me, watching what I'm doing. And now she'll, like, walk up to her table. She'll open up her book. She'll grab a crayon and she'll do that. Like, after watching me just, like, grab it and do that. Like, it's so crazy how just, you know, watching and learning is a very useful thing just to observe.
But now I'm at third base watching that kid with the tears in my eyes, being like, oh my gosh, like, because you have no idea.
You're like, let's go.
You have no idea, like, the future you're installing in somebody whenever you're just like, come along with me, just follow me around.
It's true.
Trevin, you're a product of that as well. Like,
for sure.
When you bring a kid up, like, dude, oh my gosh, if I can say anything as well, like, if for leaders, like, if you want to grow as a leader, just teach somebody else. Because you'll realize how bad you are.
The power
of what you do.
The power of pulling in.
Yes.
Like, having somebody in with you, like, hey, dude, let's go. Like, let's go like run to the store. Come with me.
You
like,
can read every leadership book you want, but there's nothing that will teach you more than just like teaching somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that'll show you your weaknesses so fast.
It'll show like, you'll be like, oh, I actually need to learn more.
Because they'll pry at you. They'll ask questions.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. They'll sharpen you for sure.
No, I've been there when I was given a vocal lesson and they're like, what do I do about this? And
You're
I'm like,
out of pocket.
I'm like calling my vocal coach, like, what do you say about this? Like,
Well, it makes you realize how much you lean on gifting.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like really made me very thankful for like I can't tell you the last time I practiced for a set on a weekend, and nobody do that. That's me. I'm working through that. But like, I didn't realize how much I was leaning on gifting and being like, man, I need to get better. Like my practice needs to look different. I need to be better because I'm teaching these kids or these adults like what's your preparation look like when mine is garbage, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so
Right.
it really brings out your own flaws,
And
whenever
especially-
you're keeping people accountable when you're not even doing it yourself. So
Yeah. When you have the time to do it and you realize that the people that are serving on your team have other jobs and like they're already working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week and you're asking them to also practice.
yeah,
But
that's humbling.
practicing is a real thing. Like we all have to do it. And as much of a discipline that it is, it's really, really important.
Yeah.
I know one thing I learned, like competitiveness and having a healthy competitive culture is important.
Yeah.
But there's like a fine line between competitiveness and comparison that will lead you into like the bad end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, especially in sports, something that I learned that wasn't good was that, I was comparing myself to all these people that are way better than me in this sport. And like, I'm trying to be competitive and get to their level. But what it actually did was it instilled fear, comparison, like in an unhealthy way, that I was never going to be able to achieve.
And it was really important that Pop like told me the platform at which I would perform. He's like, bro, you are not 6 foot, 200 pounds. You're not going to touch it and it's going to go out of the park.
Yeah.
This is your job. This is what you're made for.
Yep.
And there's people that are made to sing at a platform for 100, and there's people that are made to sing at a platform for 10,000. Like there truly is. And you are never going to be used at your max capacity until you realize what platform you were made for. And that's so important. And that is like the most humbling thing you could ever put yourself through, is to look at yourself through your honest lens and be like,
be real.
What was I made to do?
Yeah.
And like, dude, because there's 100 people in Shelbyville, Tennessee that need me just as much as some random people I'm never going to see again traveling on the road.
That's money right there. Yeah. I think you've done a good job of identifying what the valuable metric is.
Yes.
And for us, we are trusted with the people of Shelbyville to pour into them. And like, we've been able to see the fruit of that. We've seen people saved, healed, delivered, now serving, now growing others. And so the Lord says, here's a platform for 10,000 people.
Yep.
And, we were able to win see the wins with the people here. And so now we get to see those DMs that are like, I didn't even know about you guys. I heard you guys on the radio. I heard you guys at Winter Fest. Like your songs are changing my life.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's humbling.
And recognizing what that platform, that 10,000 platform is, I think for me, it's a healing place.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, it's a reward for our work, being like faithful stewards of what I've given you. Go do this, get filled up, and rest.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about something like that, because it's so fun. It's like,
it is the reward. It's like, okay, name any worship leader out right now, most likely had that dream as a child.
Yep.
Lord, I want to serve you. I want to make your name great. I want it on whatever platform it looks like, but it would be really nice if it was on this one. However, growing in your giftings, being able to like share with whoever you're around, pull them in, grow them, make disciples. That's the win. That's what we were made to do. That's biblically what we're called to do is grow disciples. And so that, has been our metric. And so, everything else is extra bonus.
Yeah, it's bonus. It's fun. It's really dreams coming true that the Lord, like I said, just planted those seeds in my life specifically, and I know you guys too. But not neglecting home, not neglecting the people here is the most important thing,
right?
Because like at the end of the day, like if one life is changed here at our local church because of our faithfulness and our stewardship, that's what counts.
It's
that's
the
what
prep
matters.
on the front end. It so is, and you've got to play the. I don't want to put these cliches out there, but you got to play the long game with this stuff. And I had a guy that I used to play for, doing guitar stuff, that asked me, "Bro, are you ready?" Because he was kind of popping off a bit, and he's like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Are you ready?" I was like, "I'm just the guitar player. Like, you're the one that has to get up at 3 a.m. to do the radio shows and to go do this and to go talk to people and to be the face." I'm like, "Are you?" Because like my job is going to be 5%. Like you're doing the other 80, and like it's the prep on the front end that like is going to give you that longevity and the endurance for the long haul. To like, dude, the weight that to carry a platform like that is, I don't want it. Like that's a lot, and also like the fall from a height that tall,
dude. We live in such a like a social media microwave world, as we want.
Everything wants to pull you down. Everything wants tea. Everything wants drama. It wants the scandal. But I love what you're saying, to go back to that, about like making sure home is good.
Yeah.
Like we are we're a local ministry too. So we are a local ministry first.
Right.
So like like I was saying, our win is home.
Yep.
And our focus is home.
Yep.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And so like being able to devote all of our time, be able to grow our teams here, and like the reward comes from being faithful to your home, like you're covering, whatever that looks like. I had some, like, I was going to nail the point down, but that was definitely like what I was feeling, is like we are so lucky to be able to get to do the rest of the stuff that we get.
Yeah, it's a joy, it's an honor. Home is most important. I think it was Carrie Job. Maybe it was
the mother of modern worship.
She actually has a couple of good quotes. Like one of them was, "Comparison will be the number one thing that will steal your joy, that will tear you down." Like she's like, don't compare in an unhealthy way. Like, I'll be real with yourself, but like, comparison
I remember what I was going to say.
Go
for it.
Yeah, as you were talking about that, like, we don't have that fear of failure. Number one, because we are trusting in the Lord to promote us, but and to give us opportunity, and to like do whatever He wants to do with our gifts and what we're doing, like our faithfulness.
Yeah,
we don't have fear because of that, but also because we're not like saying this is our only thing. We're not out here saying we just want to make music and travel and do all this. Like we are because our win is home, and making our home team, growing people, like that is our goal. And so even if all the rest of the stuff was taken away, we're still fulfilled.
Yeah.
And all that. That's what I was.
When we write songs, we don't write to write a number one hit, to write a banger, to we write for our local church
and where they are and what we feel
the stories that they're going through, the things that they're walking through. Like we write to that,
and that again is the overflow. It's the overflow of our day to day. It's the overflow of the walk that we have personally with Jesus. That like when we step into a room to write, it's what we're learning, going through, walking through with Jesus. Like we've all got traumas, we've all got things, and like if there's a way that we can use that to grow others, because it feels lonely when you're going through things. Like, this is just so unique to me. This is my situation, but like there's a lot of people out there, and you don't know what your story can touch, and that's the overflow. If you can get that out there and write that, like to encourage songwriters, like go do it.
Yeah.
Just write about it. Write about what you're Like
we're equipping the saints here in our local church, and we do that as songwriters by writing songs for them to sing.
Yes.
So like, I mean, like one of the perfect examples is one of the like MSW greatest hits, written by one of our founders, Corey Voss. He wrote the song "Praise Your Name." In the bridge, fear and depression, shame and confusion, you have to bow. That hit our church like a ton of bricks. They grabbed that bridge and ran with it because it was what our church was dealing with at that time. It was a lot of like oppression on our city, that like what we talked about earlier, like the poverty and spiritual oppression. It was giving our people something to sing in our, like, I believe like our geographic location had so much to do with it too. It's like,
100%.
This is coming as a beacon coming out of Shelbyville, of hope, through songs. And that lyric specifically wrecked our church.
It was giving them authority over that oppression, over those, even like you're talking about geographic. I believe that, like, you know, we fight against principalities, like, and there's principalities that are geographic, regional, and that's how they are. If you've never thought about it that way, like, it gave them an opportunity to take like authority over those things.
And just like Jesus goes after the one, a lot of people could look at our geographical location and our numbers and our statistics and be like, you know, that's the platform of 100. But like the ripple effect that this platform of 100 has is astronomical, because of like when you have songs that regionally go out, we have people that come from Chattanooga to go to our church in Shelbyville. I mean, it's like,
well, even that song is a perfect example too on when the whole point was writing to give our people something to fight with, and then the Lord said, there are other people that need to hear that too. He elevated that song, and now it has millions on Spotify, millions on Apple Music. It's reaching people that it needs to, and like we still hear people like who discover that song, and they're like, you don't realize the season I'm in and how these words specifically, like there could be other songs written on fear, other songs written on shame. All of that is good, but our song fit exactly where they needed it to be. It's just amazing. It's so amazing.
He's so kind.
Yeah, man.
Always. He is so kind.
Well, we're like hitting like an hour, so we want to wrap this episode up. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Madison Street Worship Podcast. These will be so much more frequent. We're having so much fun with this. Like I said, we're going to get as many people in as possible, and feel free to reach out to us on maybe what you guys would love to hear about, what you guys would like to see. If you want any other more like creative content type stuff, we'd love to, you know, do whatever we can with whatever we can. Final thoughts, guys?
There's a lot of different things that we could talk about, and I think we're just trying to be good stewards of this thing. And you know, if only one person hears this and it changes their life or their perspective or whatever, gives them encouragement, that's all that matters to me. But yeah, so we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, for listening wherever you're listening on, and
I love you guys.
I love
you guys.
I love you, Trevin.
Love you, Trevin.
Such a hard worker. So, all right. See you guys in the next one.